How likely is a recession in 2020? This is the question of the hour. It's on everyone's mind. Hi, Christy Benitez, sales agent at Benitez Real Estate. We need to remember that next year is a presidential election year, and probably one of the most controversial elections yet. Now, there's going to be a lot of questioning and political debates about the economy. Why is it so good? And questioning if our economy is going to decline. So this naturally can stir up a lot of hype. There have been 4 major surveys done this year asking experts if they believe we're going to see a recession. 67% do believe that we should see a recession by 2020. Pulseonomics surveyed analysts and 59% believe that we will see a recession by 2020. Now, why do we think this is? We've been in the longest recovery in American history, so we should expect to see a slowdown. The GDP will slow down, but let's look up the Webster's Dictionary's definition of a recession. A period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP, gross domestic product, in 2 successive quarters. We need to remember that recession does not mean housing crisis. In 3 of the last 5 recessions, housing prices actually increased during the recession. Now, obviously, 2008 was the most drastic. Now, on the same survey from Pulseonomics that asked if they anticipated a recession, they also asked in the same day, the same time, the same exact survey, and the same analysts what they thought would trigger the recession. Number 1 answer was trade policy. Number 2 was stock market conditions. And number 3 was a geological crisis. Number 9 on their list of triggers was housing slowdown. In 2008, our largest decline in appreciation was because of housing slowdown and the situation in the mortgage industry. This year, we're not even in the top 8. So in the same survey on the same day, they asked, what about the median appreciation of housing? All the analysts said that the housing prices are going to go up, not down. Appreciation is going to slow down, but the prices are still going to be going up anywhere from about 2.5% to 4.1% through 2023. Why is this important to know? We don't want to get in a panic about buying and selling and become afraid that it will be like 2008. In fact, Morgan Housel, a well-renowned financial analyst, said an interesting thing is that the widespread assumption is that the next recession will be as bad as 2008. Natural to think that way, but statistically highly unlikely. Could be over before we even realize it began. So, that's what he thinks. Prices and appreciation are expected to just be normalized. Don't let all the hype about a recession scare you from the dream and benefits of homeownership. In my opinion, it's one of the very best investments that you can make. According to Mark Fleming, First American's chief economist, he said, if the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage declines just a fraction more, our consumer housing buying power would reach its highest level in almost 20 years. So what does this tell us? It tells us don't be so caught up with all the hype. Make the move. And as always, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. And remember, happy homes start right here.